Well, here is breakfast this morning. I have the Nutrisystem turkey ham and cheese omelet with a free amount of ketchup, which is plenty, and then grits, which is a smart carb, and I have 2 tablespoons of shredded low-fat cheese in there. That's half of a Power Fuel, so I'm still missing 1.5 Power Fuels. I was going to have milk with it, but I'm out. Today is grocery day, and I'm out of everything. So this is pretty much what breakfast is going to be. And I am working on my second water. For lunch today, it is a late lunch because I got to the grocery store late, and that took me a little while. But anyway, this is the barbecue chicken melt. Ooh, it is good. I had it before, and so I was excited when I looked on the menu and I saw that was lunch today. I made a little noise. I was excited about it. I'll be ordering some more of those. And then that's the rest of the squash from the other day. It needs to be eaten up, so I'll eat as much of it as I can. And then some beets. And this is, I left off, let me feel it. Okay, that's the tail end of my second water. I'll finish that with lunch, and then I'll start on my third. Okay, so I finally got all the produce washed and did a few other little things, and I'm just going to kick back with a snack. This is the first time having these Snack-A-Rounds Smoky Barbecue Crisp. It says crunchy multi-grain chips made with flax seeds and quinoa, and I tasted one, and it's got a good barbecue tater chip taste. Let's see if that unblurs there. Oh, it's kind of blurry, but well, let me see if I can get one out. Just these little thin crisps. They crunch like a veggie chip. They have kind of that texture, but the taste is just like a barbecue tater chip. So they're really good. I know David had tried them and he said he liked them, but this is my first time. So I'm going to have that and a Diet Mountain Dew and Criminal Minds is on TV. I know that's hard to believe, but Wednesday's an all-day marathon. Well, starting at 1 o'clock anyway. All-night marathon. So that is it for this snack. Now I'm having some cottage cheese and a fruit cup. And yes, I drank the juice out of that fruit cup. There's not enough juice in there to worry about. It's not going to make or break anything I have done or will do. So I am not sweating that little bit of juice. And what I have on top is some of the Flavor God buttery cinnamon roll. I just thought that sounded good. And I've been slack because I had my drink, so I'm only on my third water. But that's okay. I'll still get to it. Here is supper tonight. It's a little different than planned. I was making beef lo mein. First time I was trying it, I was excited. I got busy doing something else, and I burned it to the point that it's not savable. So it went down the drain. The disposal. Here's the thing. It comes with a sauce packet. So I'm like, well, I know I like the vegetables and the little noodles. There wasn't much to it, but I like everything that was in it. The sauce was going to be the determining factor. So I tasted the sauce and didn't really care for it. It was good, but it was a little bit too sesame forward. It was a little bit strong. Now, when it got on those vegetables, it might have toned it down a little bit, but straight out of the little packet, it was pretty strong in the sesame department. So, I would have eaten it if I didn't burn it, but not sure I would actually order that again. So, rotisserie chicken to the rescue. I bought one today if you saw my haul, and I picked the meat off, put it in the refrigerator for when we need some extra power fuels, and here I needed one tonight. So I have 3 ounces of rotisserie chicken. That is 1.5 power fuels. I get one for supper, but I have several from today that I didn't use, so I'm good to go. There is like 5 calories worth of G. Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce. That's a freebie. This is the cinnamon butternut squash that I got today. It is so good. Oh my goodness, it is so good. Here's my Swiss chard, which at the end of this video, you will see a cook with me, just showing you how I make it. In case you're new to it, you've never made it, I'll just show you how I make it. And then my orange cauliflower, which is really bright yellow. So that is what I'm having tonight. You see, I'm getting my vegetables in. Y'all be proud of me. I almost had just a vegetable plate if I hadn't had that chicken. So that is it for me today. Like I said, coming up will be showing you how I cook the Swiss chard, and I will see you tomorrow for weigh-in. If you're new to Swiss chard, I thought maybe I would show you how I cook it. I got the rainbow kind. You can see the different colors of the stems. So since they're bunched down here together, that one's messed up. I'm just going to trim the little ends off and throw that away. Now, I have this big bowl over here. I have these for years for shelling peas and cleaning greens and all kind of vegetables and things. If you don't have a big bowl, you can clean yours directly in your sink. Just clean your sink really, really well and put the plug in and run some water. But some people may not wash theirs. I highly recommend washing your greens because there is a lot of grit and sand on the greens, and that is not that is not something you want to eat. So what I'm going to do is first I just want to clean the greens off the stems, because the stems are going to take longer to cook. We'll chop these greens in a minute, but for now we're just going to clean the greens off the stems. And when you get down here to like that little bit, that's fine. It'll cook pretty good. Okay, now I have 2 bunches to do, but just for showing y'all right now, I'm just going to worry with the one. So we just want to, let me get my bowl. Whoops. Let me get my bowl over here. I don't want them chopped any bigger than this for my liking, so that they'll get tender when they cook, because I like these completely tender. So just chop all these, and we're going to rinse these off too. Okay, now we want to chop our greens. I'm just going to put them all out here, because they don't have to be perfect. So what I do, and this is just no rhyme or reason, I just kind of put them on here and just chop through them, just to make them smaller. Now I will just put these back in this bowl over here, and I'm going to do the second batch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this bowl completely with water. I'll show you. Let me do the other batch, and then we'll come back and clean them. Okay, I had to change and put the stems in a bigger bowl because I had so many. These were some large bunches of greens. They were really big. So what you want to do, get the biggest pot you have, because it's going to take it. Put yay much water in the bottom, bring it to a boil. Now, the old days, there would be some bacon grease in here, some fat bag, some side meat, some something. But not in these new days. So I'm just going to dump in some garlic. Some salt and pepper. And then we want to put in our stems. Now I'm scooping these up with a slotted spoon here, because any dirt, sand, grit, whatever that has fallen off is going to be settled in the bottom of the bowl. Okay, I got out as much as I think I'm going to. Now bring that back up to the bowl. And we're going to cook it until they are tender, because these take longer than the greens. Now let me feel the bottom of that bowl. There's a little bit of grit. Not as much as what's going to be on the greens, but I can feel a little bit of grit. And that's not something you want to bite into when you're eating greens. The way I cleaned them, cutting the stems off, pulling the stems off, that's the same way I do collard greens. We don't eat the stems though. The stems on these are good. We don't eat collard green stems. A lot of people do. David don't like them, so I don't make them, but he don't mind these. But the way we're going to cook the greens is the same way I cook collard greens or mustard greens or turnip greens. So I'm just going to let these sit here and boil until they're tender, and then I'll be back. I have boiled these 15 minutes. They're tender. They'll keep cooking as I put the greens in there. Now, if you can see, hold on. The greens are higher than the water because I had so many. I'm telling you, they were big bunches. But I have gone through, got them all down in the water, washed them, so all the grit would have fallen to the bottom. So let's show you. I'm going to move you back over here. That's some good camera work. We're just going to put handfuls of greens in the pot. That's probably a little more than half. So let's just kind of get them down in that water a little bit. And we're going to do them a little at a time. So leave it boiling, put the lid on it, let them boil and steam until they start to wilt. And when they start to wilt, you can check it, make sure your water don't boil out, but you're probably safe because there's water on the greens when you put them in there. So when they start to wilt down, I'll come back and show you what that looks like, and then we'll add the rest. They have barely cooked 5 minutes, and I want to show you, if you can see up through there, how they wilted down. Let me see if we can you see their texture, how they're wilting? So now we're going to go ahead and add the rest of them. Okay, let's push them down in there a little bit. Now we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to let them cook until they are done. Come back every little bit and stir them. Make sure you still have water. You're going to cook them until they are just deathly soft. You might like texture to yours. We like ours soft, just like we like our greens. We like them very, very tender. So now let me bring you over here, because you cannot see this on my hands, but there is all kind of dirt down in the bottom of this bowl. So that is why I suggest you wash your greens. If they were collard greens, I'd wash them 2 or 3 times, and I'd have them in the sink because I'd have that many. But I seem to have good luck with just one time with the Swiss chard. So let those over there cook. I'll be back when they are done. Before I take this lid off, and you can't hardly hear me, these have gone about 20 minutes. I checked them. They're really, really tender, so they're good. What I want to do now is take the lid off, let them keep boiling until they're almost dry and not floating in the water. So let's see how much is in there now. I don't know if you can, well, you can't see when I lean it, but you see there's still a good bit of water in there. It just about covers them. So I'm going to leave that lid off and watch them. Lord have mercy, watch them. because you'll scorch them in a minute. So I'll be back when they have dried out to the way I like them. Okay, so I can't remember how long this cooked, but when I said dry them out, I didn't mean like bone dry, but to where they're not standing in water. So that is how I make my Swiss chard, and that is how I make all my other greens. So there you go. If you try it, I hope you like it.